putting together a circus. Might as well spend so much time with this clown.
Hello! Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
I'm Toph Ferguson.
And we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Today, we're going to be talking about
Scout. Fun little game.
Are you sure it's fun?
I think it's fun.
He thinks it's fun. What does he know?
Nothing, apparently. Absolutely nothing.
This was designed by, and I'm going to look at the name, sorry, Kei Kajino, and I'm probably butchering his name, but that's how we think it's pronounced. And it was published by Oink Games. This is a nice little card game from Japan. Says it was brought out in 2019, but I'm thinking that might have been Japan because it's got an award for 2022 Spiel, which is just this year. I heard about it last year for the first time. I wonder if it's just kind of the transition from
just making its
their market, to the United States, and it takes a while to get some of those custom things rolling if it's not a worldwide production.
Yep.
So, what do we think about Oink? I guess I'll start off with
Scout.
yeah. I said Oink, didn't I?
You did. Way to go. I'm telling you, clown. It's like every day at the Bad at Board Games, like studio and just life in general, is the circus.
The art's amazing. It's like Picasso. Look at these colors. The appearance, it's got numbers on them.
He's a 3-year-old.
Numbers and colors, and it's got a squiggly line through it. Look at that appearance.
You're ridiculous.
They're playing cards. That's about as much of the appearance as I'm going to tell you.
That's about it.
It's got a neat box.
I will say the box artwork and the cards don't necessarily line up perfectly, but it's not too far off.
No, but we're going to talk about the game a bit. So what are the mechanics of said card game?
Yes. So I equate this to playing Rummy. And I think one of the reasons
lost half of the people.
I did, yeah.
Gone.
So and we gained a whole bunch of other players too. I grew up playing Rummy, like cards, decks of cards, like that's what it was. And this reminds me.
You don't need to belittle yourself. You're not a dummy.
I never said I was.
You said you grew up being a dummy.
I said I grew up playing cards.
Oh.
Someone is a little bit of an elitist over here with his gaming selections. But no, anyways.
Comment down below if you heard him say dummy.
I did not say dummy. Goodness gracious, I'm telling you, it's a circus here. So back to the actual game. So, goodness gracious. So the game itself is a card game where you have, and we're going to deal out the entire deck of cards. You're going to have an entire hand, and your goal is to deplete that hand. You want to get rid of all the cards in your hand itself. You are doing that kind of, yes. You are doing that by playing runs and sets. So now you can see kind of my association with playing Rummy, runs and sets. The way that you're going to be playing those runs and sets is trying to get a higher value based on the cards that you're playing, whether that is the set or the run. That is kind of really the entire game in a nutshell. You are playing around in a circle. You are trying to play higher than the card in front of you. Now, this does add in a little bit different mechanics in that if for some reason you cannot play, which is going to be a high possibility in this game, then you can go ahead and start scouting the cards. And so what you're scouting on the cards themselves, you will see that there are different, not only values, but actual performers and what it is that they are doing in your circus, whether they're jugglers, whatever it might be. So you can go scouting for other people to add into your circus. And so you're able to take cards. You can actually pay the person that is had played the cards before. You have to, yeah. So you're scouting their card or scouting their performer, putting it into your hand. I think the neat mechanic about this is that once you have cards in your hand, you can never rearrange them. And that's where it gets challenging because you want to have the cards in an order, kind of like with Rummy, that you can actually make sets and make runs, but you're not going to be able to do that because your cards are locked in your hand. Now, you can play from the middle of your hand and therefore put cards together. So there's a little bit of a strategy in being able to put cards together. That was not a set or a run, just to throw that out there. But that is what it is that you're doing with the game. You are curating your hand sometimes in very difficult ways because you can't make changes in order to be able to get rid of the cards.
So it gets what's funny is when you first play this with people, including myself, like you get your hand and you want to immediately start doing this. Oh, I'm going to put the oranges together. I'm going to do 2 to whatever. You don't get to do that. You get dealt, and they pretty much say, keep them in the order in which they're dealt. You pick them up, and you get one time to look at it. So there's numbers on top and bottom, and you can either, without rearranging them, have them like this, or flip them 180 degrees, and then have them like this. And that's finally what sold me on this game. I've heard about it for about a year. I'm like, I'm still not. I played cards growing up as well. But, it's not necessarily the gamer in me now that wants to go back and play card games. But I was like, that's an interesting enough mechanic. And boy, it messes with your head when you can't move them around.
It does. It does.
And so every card is worth $1. Every time you take a card from the drafting pool, I would say, we call it scouting, you have to give $1. And not going from you to them, it's just going from the bank to them. It's a way for you to get more by playing a stronger hand than everybody else. So it's funny to hear people like, I really want to move my cards around. This is really... We've been programmed that way.
We have, yeah. When you are so used to fixing your hand and how you want it, to change that is downright terrible. I actually just dealt myself a really nice hand by not really doing anything.
And you catch them by like, don't do that. And they're like, oh, crap, I forgot.
And then throughout the rest of the game, you are complaining because your hand is so terrible that you have no sets, you have no runs. And so then you have somebody like Ashby who can be like, oh, look, I've got a 5-card run here I'm going to play. And the rest of us can't do anything for a long period of time.
I can play an 8.
One. That's just one. That's all I got. So that's the mechanics. Simple mechanics, but frustrating because especially you can't change your hand around, and that's what's so fun about this game. Oh my god, it's mad chaos.
Yeah, and so I'd say like that's my story with this. I didn't get a chance to pull this out at Gen Con, bought it at Gen Con, but then I was waiting on my son as he was looking at 40K miniature bits and things like that, and they were on the other side, and I'm like, I thought I was done. This was like the last game I bought at Gen Con. And I thought I was done. I'm like, I'm not going to spend any more money. Yeah, I am. I'm going to buy that game. But when we sat down to play it with our group, it plays up to 5 players, which is nice. I know I talk about it a lot. I'd rather have a game that can play 5 than just 4. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of games like that, and our groups are big enough that I really do appreciate the 5-player games. And we started playing this, and we just started laughing.
Yeah.
And what do you mean I can't rearrange my cards? And so, once you have them locked in, up or down, you're done. And then scouting is basically drafting. And then the next thing you get frustrated with is that you can only draft what's on the end. Mm-hmm. The highest or lowest card in the set to then put into your hand. And then you can put it anywhere you want. But then it's like, it's constantly telling people, no, you can't have the one in the middle. Because everybody's like, oh, I'm going to get to take any one of those numbers. No, you only get to take the lowest or the highest. And you have to. If you can't play something stronger, and you may not want the lower or the higher. And so you're sitting there stuck.
Yeah.
But you do have a chance of looking at either one on the top or bottom. But it's the 2 end cards that were played. So it's just funny.
It's a good game. It's I think it reminded me, I think this is why I like it. It reminded me of playing cards with my family growing up, in that when we sit down and play cards together, we laugh, we joke, we have a good time. We are all pretty good at playing games. So it's not like it's just sitting down to play whatever. I mean, we get into it as a family. But this instantly reminded me of that. Now, granted, we're playing with friends, so it wasn't with strangers. So we kind of all had rapport already. But as soon as somebody plays like a 5-card run, everybody is screaming at them. Like, how did you get a 5-card run together? How did you do that? And then also, and then you get laughing because at the end of the game, you take all the cards that you have pulled, that you have beat. Let's put it that way. So when you scout, you put it in your hand. But when you play over something, when you have a stronger hand, you play a higher run or you play a higher set. The rest of the cards that were there on the table, you take away and you put into your pile. Yes. And then as you have other people scouting your cards, you get additional dollars. And so at the end of the game, you add up all the cards that are on the table and you subtract out all the cards that are in your hand. So you have somebody that will have 9 cards in their hand
So
when
you lost
somebody
9
goes
points.
out, and it's just, and that is also another fun part of it. Of course, that's kind of our gaming group in that we're going to do that. We're going to try to fight to make sure that somebody has a bunch of cards in their hands, and it's just mad fun. It's chaos. It's mad fun, and it's a quick game. Doesn't take very long to play. So,
and it's best out of 3. So it's kind of, you know, whoever has the most points, you're gonna go out. So it's like 3 times, and then whoever has the most points, they give you these little chits to keep track of your points, plus or minus. And then every card that's in your hand is a negative. They're all worth $1. You can see on the back it says $1, and then the bank will give you $1 anytime somebody takes one of your cards, and that's just a way to keep your score. And whoever has the most points at the end of 3 rounds of going out wins. And it 20-30 minutes.
Yeah,
you can you can play it 3 times essentially in 20-30 minutes, and then you're like, let's play it again.
And we do that. Yeah, like our gaming group is known for playing through games and then at the end of the night finishing with
Something
some
light.
fillers. Yeah, some kind of light games. And when we pulled this one out, we played it 2 or 3 times back to back, and it played quick. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah,
positives.
Surprise. I was surprised. I had resisted this game, heard about it, like, okay, yeah, how good can it be? You know, and I kind of biased toward card games. But then for $20, it's always, you know, it's worth, okay, if I hate it, it's still worth $20 to try it. You know, you can go to see a movie with the family and it's going to cost you way more than $20. So tried it out and happily surprised. You know, it was like, this is fun. This is a fun game. And it was easy to teach. And you do have to read the rules, and the rules printed very small. But
so if you're old like Brad,
but you do have to, you know, it's not so easy that you don't have to read the rules, because you kind of have to wrap your mind around this whole flipping it upside down, and then explain to people what beats a set, or what's stronger. You know, it's kind of like teaching somebody poker for the first time. 3 of a kind beats 2 of a kind. Everybody understands that. But then when you get into full houses and all this, this kind of has a little bit of that, because straights of 5 will beat 4 of a kind, but a straight of 5 wouldn't beat 5 of a kind. You know, so it's just trying to get people to understand what constitutes this is stronger than that. Then once they get that, and then they understand that they can't move the cards around, and then they can't like pick the card in the middle. Like, it's just funny. It's those kind of, we've been so ingrained as a culture about how to play cards, and this goes against that.
Yeah.
Those are my, I don't know. That's all the above.
I think for me, the positive in that, when I first heard how to play, when Brad was first explaining it, I was like, man, I've got a deck of cards always with me. Like, my work bag always has a deck of cards. There's always one in the car. To this day, even with all the board games I play, I take cards everywhere. Why is this a needed game? You know, it's tiny box. There's not much in it. Why do I need this? Why couldn't I play with a deck of cards? But you have to have it, because the cards in that one, you can't rearrange anything. And then, so you could just do that with a deck of cards. It's having the option of the top and the bottom, and that struggle of saying, do I want this or do I want this?
You only get
and
one
I have once I choose it, I'm done. That you don't get with a deck of cards. And that is one of the things that's nice about this game. It's also some of the chaos of the game. And then as you're pulling new cards, so as you're scouting cards from the middle, then you have the option of saying, okay, I'm going to play it as a 5 or as a 10 when I put it in my hand. And so then you can actually have a little bit more strategy, maybe.
Where you're trying to create your set, so you're trying to create your straight, but you may not be able to, because then somebody else gets the card. Like Ashby kept getting freaking card right before I did. Like, everyone, I'm like, oh, I'm waiting for that one. And then he would go and grab it. Or then he would play something. You know, it was just like, really?
So that's one of my positives. And the other of my positives, and we didn't talk about this, but you have this one special token. And, you know, in the game, you can do one of 2 things. You either play a runner, a set that's going to beat what's already down there, or you scout. That's it. If you scout, you don't get rid of any cards in your hand. You're adding a card to your hand. And so it's kind of working against you. It's helping you to build sets and stuff, but it's working against you because you're getting more cards. This is the one opportunity once per turn that you can scout and then show your cards. So you can scout and then you can play something that's going to beat it. You have to be able to do both, obviously. You have to be able to win with it. But that is a fun little twist to it, because it's one of those, do I hold this and wait to see if I can use it to go out? Or do I go ahead and play it now because I've got something that this card is going to give me that's going to, give me something big. So that's another fun little thing. It's worth it. It's not just a deck of cards. There's more to it in this little box.
Yep.
Do you have any negatives?
I can't think of any,
Yep.
like at all. Like, it'd be cheaper maybe, but it was only $20. Like,
yeah, for $20,
I don't know. That's, I don't have any negatives with the game. I really don't.
Yeah, the components are fine. I mean, for a $20 game, you're actually getting cardboard chits or cardboard pieces that you can play with. The cards are a little thin, so you're not going to get really thick cards, but you don't need really thick cards.
Yeah.
These are a little bit thinner than a standard bicycle deck of playing cards, but they're linen finish, so they're nice. They're not bad.
I guess that would be the one negative. They're a little chintzy on the cards,
but they're fine. They're perfectly fine. It plays great. It's a fun game. Mm-hmm. I don't have any negatives.
So what is your BGG rating for everybody who skipped right to here?
Yes. I am putting
Go back and watch the rest of it.
Yeah. We haven't actually talked.
We're hilarious.
Stop talking over me.
It's fun because it's bothering you.
Clown is what I put up with all the time here at Bad at Board Games. My BGG rating. Oh, I thought you were going to cut me off again. My rating is a 7.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been higher, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, I thought it was going to be higher. It's fine.
No, I'm keeping it at 7.5.
Yeah, I wasn't actually trying to make you change your mind. I was just surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I love the game. I really do like it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the star of the night when it comes to like game night. But 7 is a good game that I'm usually willing to play. 8 is, what is it? I'm always willing to play this, or like I'm going to recommend this game. I could see that coming into play, but I'm not going to want to play this all night long. No. But this is a great little game. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm putting it at 7.5, which I think is still a good score.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I just thought it would be hard. Yeah.
Sorry, compared to a Lacerda game, it's not there.
Yeah. So my value, we didn't talk about the value.
We did not.
I'm going to talk about the value real quick, then we'll go to my...
Nothing like a little suspense.
Dun, dun, dun. For $20, this is well worth $20. So 5 being an amazing value. Like if this cost me $1, this would absolutely be a 5. Mm-hmm. If this cost $100, this would actually be a 1, a value of 1 to 5. I'm still going to rate this at like a 4. It's a deck of cards. They're making a lot of money off of this. Now, they're not millionaires. They have a tiny little booth. But, $20 for this probably costs $3 to make and ship over here. So the value, but for the fun you're having, it's a 4.5. It's right there, and it's worth $20. Absolutely.
It is well worth $20. I'm going to talk over you a little bit here.
Good.
You get a whole handful of thick cardboard pieces. These are not thin little pieces.
Yeah, it's not paper.
It's not paper, no. And the box itself also not paper. You could go and buy Uno for like $6 at Target, and it's coming in a little tiny cardboard crappy box.
That is true.
This is actually,
I take it back. It might have cost $5 to make.
I mean, you're getting nicer quality. Yes, the cards are a little bit thinner than a really nice deck of cards, but outside of that, it's all very nice. It's well finished. Yeah. I mean, you said 4 out of 5. That makes sense. Yeah. It's well worth $20.
It is absolutely worth it. And you could say it's worth 5, and it's really just going to depend on your experience that you have with it, right? So I'll get back to my rating, right?
Yeah, sure.
Back to our originally scheduled program. BGG rating, I'm going to rate it an 8.
Okay.
I like it. I was shocked by it, and we've played it enough times that I can say it hasn't overstayed its welcome. Like we've played it enough times that normally I'd be like, it would be declining,
tired of it,
and I've played it enough that it hasn't lost. Like it's, is it going up? No, but it's consistent. It's just, for me, it's consistent. And I don't want to play any game all night. Like one game It's 4 hours, sure, or 5.
Yeah.
But like a 20-minute game, I'm not going to play for 4 hours. Any 20-minute game. But this one, yeah, this one was fun. And this one's, these are like my party games. I can have 5 people playing this, and we're sitting there laughing and joking about it. And, you know, that's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's an 8.
Nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So we're done? Did you enjoy our circus? I tried to be more annoying than normal. This is how annoying I am normally.
This is what it normally is like. Yeah. You're killing me, Smalls. Yes, I think we are about done. I think we've talked enough about Scout. Fun little game. You should pick it up. Definitely pick it up. Great for families. Great for game nights. Good filler. Something probably good to just throw in a car and have with you at any point in time. So look for it. It's been out for a little while. Definitely has a reason why it's an award-winning game.
Yep.
So we think you definitely gonna like it. So let us know, what are your family favorites? Is this something that you might enjoy? Did you grow up playing cards like we did? I still absolutely love playing cards. I hate the fact that sometimes we don't play them enough. We get too suckered into some of the board games, and sometimes just deck cards is good. So let us know what it is that you enjoy doing, what it is that you enjoy playing with your family. Board games, card games. What do you think?
Yep. Comment down below. What's your favorite card game? Gamer, or just, you know, like Rummy or Pinochle or Master or whatever it is.
Euchre.
Or Euchre.
Yes, one of my absolute favorite games of all time.
Or Goat Head if you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know Goat Head.
Pretty much Euchre with a minor, like one rule change.
Okay. Well, I guess it could be fun because Euchre is fantastic. So.
There you go.
Anyways, rambling.
Remember, whether you're playing solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a good night.